Welcome. We are talking about how not everyone is a narcissist, and I know that word is overused in this day and age. Hi, Kairos. I know everyone is sick of the word narcissist. I get it, but my thing is like they're everywhere. They're everywhere. They're everywhere, and I'm sick of people falling for the okey doke. That is my real problem. Hi, thank you. The okey doke is like, when I look at these people, they're all the same. Like P. Diddy. I'm just like Epstein, Trump, freaking he's not autistic, but he claims to be autistic. The South American boy with the technology, what's his name? Musk. Musk. I'm just like they're all the same. I was reading into Epstein yesterday, and it was talking about how he never paid people, he lied, he cheated, he schemed, like the Danish deception. That guy, if you guys saw the story from TikTok, that man, he lied, he cheated, he schemed. Like they're all the same, bro. Like they never pay people what they owe. Like Diddy never paid anybody, but took everybody's money, took advantage of everybody. Always showed up as this charismatic person. Like always does this love bombing. Hi, Betha B. And I'm just like, I don't know, man. I'm tired. I'm sick and tired of people falling for the narcissistic tricks every single time. And it's just like, because the tricks are based on I don't like these narcissistic hierarchies. They're based on getting power, fame, and status. The more power, fame, and status to get, the worse they become. Like the richer Diddy became, the less he paid people, the more people he unalived, the more if you give a narcissist more power, they become worse. The more you concede to a narcissist, the worse they treat you. And this reminds me of my recent video where I said, my recent live was stop pandering to white people. And then my recent video was talking about, what was it talking about? White people being delusional. That is what it is. White people being delusional and the collective narcissism of white people. Hi, right hand Donnie. And so I'm just thinking about, I don't know, when I think of like white people as a collective being a narcissistic entity, I'm like, I don't know how you beat a narcissist. The only way you beat a narcissist is like by not playing with them. If you allow yourself to be in the orbit of a narcissist or a narcissistic person, they are going to take advantage of you. Like that's all they know how to do is take advantage of people. They don't know how to do nothing else. And so I'm just like, how do we as Black people and women, because hey, I'll never let a man off the hook. I'll never let a man off the hook. Because men have collective narcissism as well. They feel like they are entitled to everything. They feel like they're entitled to women. They feel like they're entitled to property, people, like all this stuff. And so women have got that right idea. Hi, Phoenix. Women have got the right idea of just like not marrying, not going into these relationships with men so that we don't have to deal with the narcissistic nature of man. But I'm just like, what can Black people do? We can't just well, we can. We try our best not to deal with white people. We build our own colleges, we build our own institutions, we build our own neighborhoods. We do everything we can. But the problem with the narc is if you start like not giving them access to you and not like paying attention to them, then they get upset because they feel like they are the main character and they feel like everything revolves around them, and you should submit to their will and show their dominance. Hi, Will Herring. We're talking about how everyone is a narcissist today. Not everyone, but like, I don't know, like how obvious it is. It is obvious to me when someone is a narcissist. And people say that word is overused, but I'm just like, I don't think it's used enough. I don't think it's used enough personally. I feel like because there are so many people who like, I would diagnose. I'm not a psychologist. Hi, DJ. Hi, Rusi. I'm not a psychologist, but I would diagnose. I feel like the rate of narcissism in the world is not, the diagnosis is not, but technically we're all narcissists. So, see, that's the problem. That's the problem. People think that having self-esteem, having like pride in yourself, caring about how you look and you present yourself, that makes you a narcissist. But no, my biggest definition of a narcissist is first of all, the biggest one is no empathy. Like that is what I feel like we need to focus. Like people think of like Narcissus, the story of the man who like was so beautiful that he fell in love with his own reflection and he withered away. Yeah, that was technically like, it's like, yes, people conflate narcissism with like pride in your looks. Like, yes, narcissists do care about their image, full stop, 100%. Like, if you have someone who is a narcissist, they're going to care about their image. They're going to want to look good. They're going to want to present well, because that is a part of their diabolical plan. Like, you cannot lure in victims if you're ugly. You cannot lure in victims if you like don't have charisma, if you don't like Jeffrey, the Epstein, like he Trump, like all of them, they present so well in the front of, like, we put them in front of people, they present well. So they do care about how they look, because it's a part of their ego, and narcissists have the biggest inflated ego in the whole wide world. But my biggest part, like my biggest like definition, or like the biggest contender for me that shows someone is a narcissist, is the lack of empathy. It is not if you care about how you look. It is not if you care about yourself. Like, caring about yourself doesn't make you a narcissist. It makes you a regular person who has self-preservation. Like, we were born to take care of our own self. Like, you loving yourself, caring yourself. But when you have no empathy, when you put yourself and your needs above the needs of everyone else, like, that is narcissistic. Like those billionaires, I was just looking at who was it? Peter Thiel, I think. Was it Peter Thiel? Epstein? Who was it? Who owns Oracle? Who owns Oracle, the billionaire? What's his name? It's not Peter. It's anyways, the one who owns Oracle. They were talking about how his yacht was so big that it couldn't park beside his other billionaire friends' yachts. Ellison, thank you, Larry Ellison. That's exactly who it is. His yacht was so big, y'all. He couldn't park it beside his other billionaire friends, so he had to get a smaller yacht. And then his smaller yacht, which was still 288 feet long, mind you, a super yacht is anything 100 feet long and above. This man had a 288-foot yacht, and that was his small yacht. That was his little yacht. His little yacht was 288 feet long. And super yachts burn 500 gallons of diesel fuel an hour. Diesel fuel, that's the one that you put in like 18-wheelers, like the big tanker trucks, like 500 gallons of diesel fuel an hour. Like, like a car, regular like Honda or Toyota burns like 2 gallons an hour, and that's if you drive it for a whole hour, and that is like, it's too, and it's like unleaded. That's unleaded. Like, that's not even like the heavy gas. Like, he did his boat, his personal boat burned 500 gallons of diesel fuel an hour. And mind you, this is like if he take a trip somewhere and back. So I'm just like, gotta understand so like, that is lack of empathy. That is lack of empathy, that you would buy a personal boat that burns 500 gallons of diesel fuel an hour just to look cool, just to impress some girls, just to show off how much money you have. It took him $200,000 to fill up one tank. $200,000 to fill up his boat tank once, his yacht tank once. Some people are begging to make $200,000 a year for their entire life and their entire family. This man he filled up his tank with $200,000. That is, it's not even about how much it costs. It is about it, but it's really, for me, the environmental impact. The environmental impact of these billionaires is that of cities. This one person is destroying the environment at a rate of some towns. And it's just like, that is the narcissist. That is the lack of empathy. That is like, because people will say that, oh, everyone's a narcissist. Everyone like, what was a good example? It was someone was just like, oh, okay. It was someone who was like, they did a study, and they were like, oh, if, because they were saying that my theory of narcissism and empathy is wrong, because a lot of people don't have empathy. A lot of people will pick themselves over other people, over the greater good. And their example was, if you had a classroom of people, and some people had A's and some people had F's, and they asked the people with A's and said, if everyone could get a C, would you mind, like, your A's have to go down to a C, but the people who have F's, they will go up to a C, and so everyone would pass the class. And they said the kids with the A's, they said no, because I worked hard for my A. They didn't work hard, and so that's not my problem. Everyone who subscribes to the capitalist world is a narcissist, whether rich or poor. Who subscribes to it? Yes. Who participates in it? No, because we unfortunately have to participate. That's the way it's set up right for now. we're making our way out of it. But yeah, if you subscribe to it, if you're one of those people who's like, yeah, capitalism is the way, then yeah, nah, you are a narcissistic a-hole. But for this story, they said that was their example of like, oh, people are not as altruistic as like people like myself would like other people to believe. If these kids who had A's, they had the opportunity to get a C if everyone in the class could pass. Would they do it? The answer was no. But my thing is, when it comes to like true altruism, like putting your life on the line, I'm like, and it's like, cause like, I'm sorry, I'm doing a bet. Wait, someone clocked how far spread narcissism is for real. Yeah, no, that's me. I've clocked it. This is it. And this is like, it shows up everywhere. Every person who is a billionaire who has all this money and like creates all this waste and doesn't care about how it impacts other people, doesn't care about the fact that they're not paying their employees well, and that doesn't care about the fact that they're lobbying for policies that'll hurt people and the environment and hurt people's livelihood. All those people, that is narcissism. Like, that is narcissism. Like, it is the lack of empathy. It is not you care about how you look. It is not you have pride in who you are. It is not like I have a little bit of pride. I have a little bit of ego. Like, no, like when you care about making more money than you care about the lives of other people, you're in the narcissist lane. Like, if you are okay with unaliving people so that you can make more money, you are a narcissist. Like, that is like that's not that's like that is like, I don't like, that's not the full definition of a narcissist, but like, if you need help to identify who's a narcissist and who's not, like, people who will hurt, like, okay, because here's the thing, there is a difference between someone who will like, who wants to do better for themselves, and like, if I don't do anything, I will be fine, and then other people, whatever happens. But it's an entirely different thing when you say, I will do something to better myself, even at the expense of others. Like, that is the distinction. When you will go do something, like, because the example with they wouldn't give up their A's for someone with an F is like, you're not hurting the person by not giving up your A's. Like, it's just like, they'll be where they will be. No, like, if you were in this class with them, thank you, Yasir. Thank you. If you weren't in this class with them and this option wasn't presented, like, you would have an F. Like, an F would happen to you no matter what. But it is wholly different if that person went into that class and cheated off of everyone and took their papers so that they could get an A, or like so that their grades would be an F, and that would skew their grade up to an A. Like, you see, when you cause harm to help yourself, you are a narcissist. When you do nothing and you try to help yourself, you're a regular person. Like, like that's the balance. Like, that is the balance. Like, you can love yourself. You can have pride in your appearance. You can be a regular person who cares about their own well-being. That does not make you a narcissist. You are a narcissist when your well-being is a more of a priority than the well-being of other people, to the point where you are willing to hurt and harm other people in order to help yourself. That's where the line, that's where all these people cross the line. Patriarchy, they will hurt and harm women, right? These men with their wives, really they're just women that they've enslaved. They will hurt and harm their wives in order to keep their wives in line. They will hurt and harm children for their own, schmexual gratification. What else I got up here? Capitalism. Oh God, don't even get me started on the CEOs of capitalism and corporate America. Like, they will make I did 7 years in the health insurance industry, y'all. And the way that these insurance companies, like, it is in their business plans and in their business practices to figure out the way to deny people claims as much as they can. Like, that is in there when y'all are in those rooms with CEOs, and I was a strategic consultant for healthcare insurance companies and health systems. That is what we're the analysts. We just do the math. And the math says, if you don't pay these people their money, you will make higher profits. Like, that's the math. And that's what capitalism cares about. It cares about growth and profits. And it cares about that more than it cares about, human lives. So, hey, Big Vino. Hey, Big Vino. How you doing? What does it say? Abrahamic religions also create a safe haven for narcissism. Oh, Big Vino, you've been here, like, it creates Abrahamic religion create a safe space for narcissism, because as long as you have the excuse of God knows my heart, or God is like, I'm just following God's will, the entire European white history of society, and their Puritan and Christian and all the Christianity has ever only been used to justify hurting and harming other people and populations, because God, in the name of God, of course, in the name of Jesus. But as long as you can say God knows my heart, God is going to forgive me, or God told me to do this, you're good to go. As a narcissist, you can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want, and that's what they want. And that's what they want. They want to do whatever they want, and they don't care about who they hurt or harm in the process. So that is like religion is just like a it's like a get out of jail free card for a narcissist. That's why there are so many Christian cults. It's because they worship and they revere men. That's one. And then they worship and revere men who say they have some sort of divine connection to God. So, that's all you need. That's all you need to start amassing and accumulating power. Y'all saw, was it Kim Kardashian or what's Kim Kardashian's mom, Jenner? Caitlyn Jenner? Not Caitlyn. what's the mom? She started a church recently, and I'm just like, when billionaires start churches, it's like they're just starting cults. That's all they're doing, is starting cults. They're trying to figure out, how else can I control more people? How can I harvest energy? Right? That's what's happening. Or energy harvesting, and that's what's happening. Does Gentile mean fill me in? I don't. January 27th, meet me at the altar in your white dress. I'm married. I have been to an altar with a white dress. I'm good, but thank you for the offer. I'm trying to read the whole thing. Can you zoom in? Can you zoom it out a little? If you want a copy, you can go. There's a link in my bio. It's $10, and you can have wait, this is not even the updated version. I just haven't been able to screenshot, copy, paste, and resize an updated version. But I can also tell you whatever you want to see, so that I can have a reason to explain it further, because I do love explaining this thing. I tell you what, it's my favorite thing. I'm super proud of it. And I think it's a fantastic visual to show people that all of these systems are actually the same. They're just dressed in different Gucci bags. They are all the same, but they are all narcissistic. And like I said, when I say narcissistic, I mean, it's like, I don't know if you guys watch anime and One Piece, but they were a perfect example of the villain was one for all, and the protagonist was all for one. And like, that's what narcissists are. Like, narcissists are they want all people to be for one, to be for them, versus everyone else, regular people, are all for one for all. You are one person, and your job is to help the collective. You are one for all. Like, we should all be one for all. We should all be All Might. If you watch the show, we should all be All Might, one for all. We should all work together for the greater good of humanity, and not be all for one. But all narcissists are all for one. They want everyone to be for themselves. And so, that's what all of these systems say. All these systems say you should be all working for men. You should be working for men. And in order to be a man, you better be a straight, heterosexual, masculine presenting male, which is crazy, because all people, have, like, male and female energy. Everyone has a mixture of male and female energy, and everyone should be able to express that energy however they want to. Like, just energy however they want to. Like, just if you have a male masculine energy, but you're in a female body, like, okay. If you have a lot of female energy and you're in a masculine body, in a male body, okay. It's just like, it just all doesn't matter. But the patriarchy tells you, it matters so much, and if you don't do it the way that I tell you to do it, then you'll be banished into the underworld. Like, what? It's just like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Asking viewers to send likes or comments when they like or have thoughts about your sessions. TikTok is telling me to do things. I hate when TikTok tells me to do things. I have a confession. I'm doing some shadow work, and I think I might be a narcissist. Interesting. You might be. Big female, you might be. And that's because you're a male. No offense. The rate of narcissism in males is it's higher. But it is because narcissism is cultivated by having, growing up with like a little bit of trauma and a lack of accountability. And men grow up with a lot of trauma, especially if they're told you can't express your emotions, you have to be a certain way, you can't cry, like all that stuff. It creates literally a toxic environment for a child to grow up in, and then they become a narcissist if they can't express their emotions. And then if they are not held accountable ever because they're a man, or because they're white, or because they're blonde, or because they're beautiful, whatever society deems as like, oh, if you have this quality, you're a perfect person, and no one can hold you accountable, then you become a narcissist. Like, if you become a narcissist when you are never held accountable for your actions, have a little bit of trauma, and are deemed a good person by society, no matter, even though you didn't actually do anything to be deemed a good person. So yeah, a lot of men are actually waking up to the fact that they are narcissists themselves. But that is, I don't know what to do with that personally, because I have, kind of like not sworn my life, but I have been going off the notion that narcissists will never know that they're narcissists, and they'll never grow out of being a narcissist. So whenever I find out or realize that someone is a narcissist, I'm like, you get cut off. You get cut off, because I've dealt with them before. They don't change. They typically don't change. But I've been seeing some new research that has been like, oh, they can have some growth. So I'm like, all right, I don't know. So like, Big Vino, like, what made you tell us more? What makes you think that you are a narcissist, and what do you feel like you'll do about it is the real question. What do you feel like I'm not just like, I feel like you, not to say you can't be, because you can be, but I'm just like, wow, you've been on this live before. I've enjoyed your time, and you seem so smart. Not to say that narcissists can't be smart, although a lot of them are dumb, I will say. They just present smart. They like to pretend like they're smart, and people will fall for it because they usually know how to do a couple of buzzwords here and there. So people are like, oh my God, they're so intelligent. But they're really not. If you need a belief in God to keep you from being deviant, you're a bad person. I agree 100%. Because there's no reason that, if the Bible didn't exist, you would go off and be a murderer. Why is that? Why is that the case? It's a strange thing that Christians have the belief that if the Bible didn't exist, what would you do? How would you know what's right and wrong? Through my emotions, through my feelings, through empathy. That's the thing. People don't like empathy no more. People don't like the idea of really, truly stepping into someone else's shoes and experiencing what they're feeling, experiencing their negative emotions. Like, nobody wants negative emotions. And so they will rather not experience anyone's negative emotions. They only want happiness and joy. And it's just like, that's not, sometimes you got to sit down with your sad friend and cry with them. Like, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful healing experience. And like going through negative like experiences with another person, it builds community, it builds bonds, it builds strength within your person. Like, our friendships to today are so freaking shallow because we've never been through anything with our friends and then come out on the other side. Like, we have shielded each other from the negatives of life and only post our highlight reels on Instagram and TikTok. And it's destroying our friendships, along with capitalism, because capitalism also says like, you're not allowed to have fun without money, and then your friends are buy into it and like, oh, let's go to Bali this weekend, and it's just like, I can't go to Bali, and it's just like, well, you can't be my friend. And it's just like, wow, I thought we were more than just buddies, but the moment I don't have money, now we can't hang out. That's crazy. But and then on to my small capitalism rant. I'm just like, we used to do things like pick each other up from the airport, and now we can just call an Uber. And it's just like so sad, because we would come home and tell our friend how our trip was, and now we just post it on Instagram and we never actually talk to them, and it eliminates that small moment of connection, that small moment of bonding. And then so the slowly but surely over time, their friendship or the relationship gets weaker, because you're not actually feeding the relationship, you're feeding Instagram. And so now whenever you do have something horrible happen to you, you have no one to call, because because you haven't talked to your friend in a month of Sundays actually directly, only through Instagram. I'm just like, whatever. Here we are today. I think not picking your friend up from the airport unless you have a legit reason is crazy. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like, But I mean, but the thing is, you said unless you have a legit reason, and it's like, but you can always have a legit reason because it's capitalism. Like if they have to get up early, or if they get in early or get in late, it's just like, oh, I got work in the morning. Would you mind calling an Uber? Or like, oh, I got to work on this thing, or like, anything is a legit reason nowadays. So it's like, and it's like, and it is a legit reason. If you got work in the morning and you can't like call off from your job because of capitalism, you got to pay your rent, or you're at risk of being fired because of capitalism, and they don't care about you. That is a legitimate reason, and it's just like, and it's a sad one, but it is a legitimate one, and it's just like, but it's like, at some points, it's like we got to sacrifice for the people that we love, the people that we care about. But we don't want to. Hey, Co. I love the upside down triangles. Upside down triangles for anywhere. Hi, Kira. I'm new here. How can I see the first try? There's a link in my bio. You can buy it for $10. It's only $10. It's not a lot. And the knowledge within here is worth thousands of dollars. In my personal opinion, this has come from many, many years of experience as a person who's been all up and down and across all of these hierarchies and experienced all of them myself. This is good stuff. It's good stuff. It's well worth your $10. I'm telling you, that's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying. I just, and I would give it out for free, but capitalism. But I do not, maybe in the future, one day I might, depending on, where I go, where my content takes me. I can start giving away stuff for free because I want to. I want the world. I want the world to know. I want the world to see these things, to understand these things, to realize like, the patriarchy, the way that men oppress women is the same way that, CEOs and shareholders, they oppress their employees. And that's the same way that, white people oppress black people. And that's the same way that the Bible and the people who control the Bible and the church, they treat people who are not as religious or don't go to church the same way. And America treats people who are not religious or different religions from Christianity the same way. And that's the same way that people who are able-bodied and neurotypical, the way they treat people who have some sort of disability or ignore them altogether or to push them to the sides of society. It's just like, that's all very similar. Like, yes, I know it's all the same shit. 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 Like, I don't know how to explain that better than it's just like they all are the same. It's just patriarchy controls people through gender roles, and you grow up in this world and they teach you like, oh, this is how you're supposed to show up as a man or a woman, like as a male body or a female body. Because again, your soul is made up of a mixture of masculine and feminine energy. Like it all adds up to 100%. You can have anywhere between 0% masculine energy and 100% feminine energy, or 0% feminine energy and 100% masculine energy. But that energy can go into a male body or a female body, no matter what it looks like. Like that's like the energy, your soul can be a masculine or feminine or any mixture of the sort of a soul, and then it will drop into whatever body is being birthed whenever it's being birthed, and you will have the experience as a human as that mixture of masculine and feminine energy. Haha, my blue and pink. Masculine and feminine energy inside that male or female body. Like that, like people, because see, here's the thing. People don't realize because of these religions, the way that they control us through our own, y'all, spirituality, like our spirits, our souls are like these things that are going on this journey, this human experience of life. And that spirituality is like I say it's like a territory, and then religion is like a map. It's a map and it gives you directions, but first of all, they're bad directions. And they don't cover the entire territory. Like it is a way to harness spiritual energy through these religions, but they're so fucking bad at it. They're so fucking bad at it. And in fact, they teach, if you do what these things tell you, they will stunt your spiritual growth. And they do. That's why everyone's so evil and hating each other, because they teach you, oh, you're better than this person. You're not better than this person. If you do this, like they teach you have to work to get to God, when it's like God is inside of all of us. And God is right there. Like all you got to do is close your eyes and turn off the TV, turn off the phone, turn off everything, exit out of any inputs, go sit in a sensory deprivation tank. If that's helpful. and go into nothingness. Like, people have spiritual awakenings when they do like psychedelics, and then they look in the MRI machines, and they show that whenever you take these, substances, your brain activity lowers, it decreases substantially, and then that is how you get into the other side. Like, when you do meditation and you have your awakening, your Kundalini awakenings, that is when you, okay. That is when you meditate, you turn your brain off. And like, that is why they keep shoving entertainment in our face, shoving computers, shoving electronics. Like, when your brain is always active, always in this physical realm, you will never have the brain like inactivity that you need in order to get to your subconscious, which in deep underneath your subconscious is your soul, and your soul is in the spirit traverse. Like, when they say that we all have access to Christ consciousness, to the spirit realm, we do. You just have to learn how to be comfortable sitting in an empty space. Like, that is when you get to your that's when you get to talk to your ancestors, talk to grandma, like all the folks who've been gone, they're still hanging out and wait for you. You want to talk to them? Turn off your phone, turn off your TV. Like don't talk to nobody. Meditate. Like, you do have to meditate. You have to turn your brain off. Scientifically, your brain has to turn off in order to reach the deepest level of your subconscious, which is the like, I don't know how to explain it, but like, like, if I don't like calling it Christ consciousness, because you know how I feel about religion, but like cosmic consciousness or universal consciousness, like when you have spirits, right? Like channelers or seers, or those people who they're like, oh, I can, I can channel your grandma and stuff like that. They have routinely and mechanically, strategically, systematically learn how to tap into their one consciousness. But you'll see a lot of them, like, they'll sit there with their eyes closed. They'll sit there and like you have to turn off all of your connections to this realm in order to get to the deeper realm, like the realm of the one consciousness. Like, I don't know how to explain that better than that. Like, but yeah, so it's just like like your core soul. Yes, your core soul, like your soul, like your soul is connected to all other souls. We are all connected. We are all connected. We are all connected. And we can talk to one another and tell, like, all the cool stuff. We can do all kinds of cool stuff, but we can't do it if we never turn off all of the external stimulants that are coming in. And they know that, and they know that, and they know that. That is why they want us always stimulated, because if we don't connect to our source, our one consciousness, then like, that's where all the truth lies. That's how you know. They always say like, oh, remember who you are. I'm just like, you can't remember who you are if you're always taking in inputs. Like, that is the problem. Like, that's the problem. But they do that on purpose. It is so, like, y'all, it's so evil. Y'all don't understand, like, the evil conspiracies that are in this world that are holding us all back. So victim mentality, final boss. I don't know what that means, but feel free to explain. What else what have I missed? The Ethiopians are the oldest Christians. How is the Bible oppressive to blacks? To black people, that's first of all. I really hate when people say blacks. Makes me feel like you're racist automatically, I'm not gonna lie. But how's it oppressive to black people? This is a long story. Aaron Cunningham. Well, so I think the easiest way is, yes, Ethiopians, Christianity, like, started in Ethiopia. Orthodox Ethiopian Christianity is different from modern day Christianity, and that is because a lot of the books of the Bible that were in Orthodox Ethiopian Christianity are not in the King James Bible version. Like, let's just start there. Biggest ones being like the female dominated, woman dominated books, like the Mary Magdalene is like the biggest one. The woman who saw Jesus arise from his slumber during the Easter stuff. Like, that's not in the Bible. Like, any book that heralds women as brave, or like a leader, or like a speaker, or like that showed that Jesus saw women at the same level as men, those have been largely removed from the Bible. Like, so like, it's just one. The new Christianity is patriarchal AF. And then they also, of course, they have uplifted all of the texts that say, listen to authority, listen to your master. If you're a slave, be obedient. All that stuff that really gets into your mind. That also is an issue that I have with those books. So that is that. Earthworm says, I like this trend. Me too. I owe you type of credit, not like credit cards with numerical value alienation. Man, I really got to keep up with things that are being said. I'm split. I have friends who have empathy and some who don't. Like, I swing back and forth. Huh. Big Vino, you can have, I mean, I don't know. I try to stay away from people without empathy. Like, I had this conversation with this man the other day trying to explain to him why it's dehumanizing to call women females. And he really just was like not having it. He was like, yeah, nah, some women or some females, they deserve to be called females. Like, you know, if you saw their character, then you would understand. And I was just like, no, sir. There's no amount of behavior, or what did he say? He said they have extremely poor character or something like that. And I was just like, there's no amount of poor character that you could tell me that a woman has that will make me want to call her a female. Like, it just doesn't, it will never happen for me. I just don't feel like there's ever a reason to dehumanize another human. But you know, as I say that, I lied. Because narcs, nah, I am thoroughly convinced those are not humans. I'm thoroughly convinced. But no, I'm not. I do feel like they're like kind of like demons, walking around in the flesh. But you know how we're all like one consciousness, and we are like all like a reflection of one consciousness. I do feel like narcs are like, they are the expression of our, I don't want to say like deepest darkest desires is not right, but like they are our shadow selves. They are shadow selves. They are like a version of the shadow self of the human consciousness. Like, if humans didn't have love, didn't have care for one another, we would all be narcissists. So it's just like, although I do feel like they are not really human, they are a representation of a part of humanity. It's an ugly representation. It is our worst representation. They are our worst selves realized. Like, if you had every single one of your like deepest, darkest fears like manifested as a person, it would be a narcissist. Like, if you only cared about yourself, like, it's like that is what they are. They are human. They are just like, they are our shadow selves. They are a group of our shadow selves walking around. New Testament and Yahweh reflect on the Old, and he says he was right there then. All of our study material had dark tone pictures of Jesus. Yeah, nah, Jesus was definitely a dark skinned person. A darker skinned person. And yeah, and you know, my recent video, if y'all have seen it, is called White People Are Delusional. I talk about that. I talk about how white people are delusional and we just allow it to happen. And they're delusional though, because they are at the top of one of these narcissistic social hierarchies of control. And when you're at the top of the one of these social hierarchies, you are never held accountable for your actions because you've won the game of life, and so you can't be held accountable because then the social hierarchy wouldn't work. Like, you have to have like an elite class so that other people can like aim to get to that elite class. And while everyone else is like so busy working to get there, the people who are there, which are the people who made the system, if I'm being honest, they get to enjoy the fruits of their not labor by doing whatever they want to do. And so white people are enjoying the fruits of their labor of racism and being able to do whatever they want to do. And that includes being able to tell everybody Jesus is white and put up white Jesus in all their churches and have no one question that. And I was just like, yeah, nah, that's delusional. Y'all are like, white people, there is a level of delusion in whiteness that is crazy. Crazy. Cause I'm just like, what other group of people will we just like be like, yeah, that's wrong, but okay. Like, will we like how do we do that? How do we have this group of people who sit here and print out millions of pictures of white Jesus every year, and we're all just like, yeah, you know, that's white people. They be white peopling, you know, yeah, sure, they're racist. It happens. Like, I'm just like, yo, what is going on in this world where we have accepted a group of people changing history so drastically and we're just all like, yeah, that's what they do. It just happens. I'm just like, I don't know. What? You have corporate titles wrong. Money is the only social hierarchy. How did he got away with ruining lives for so long? No, money is not the only social hierarchy. Money is energy, right? We've been hearing that all over TikTok. And it is, because like the more energy, or the more human energy that goes into something, the more money you can charge for it. And it's because like that's the linkage. The link is like how much human energy went into this thing, and that's how much money I can charge for it. Even though they've even bastardized that system. But no, it is narcissists who ruin lives. When narcissists get more money, they can ruin more lives. But it is not. Money is money is not the only social hierarchy. It's not, because you can be a narcissist and be poor. My baby father, the man who exposed me to the world of narcissism, the man who I dealt with for 10 years because I thought he would change. I thought, it's not, and I don't want this to sound like, oh, she's just like a jaded woman. No, it was an experience that I had, that I learned from, that I extracted lessons from. And he was not the only narcissist. He was just like the first narcissist that I dealt with. So obviously, and he's the father of my child. And that's how deep I got into that relationship. But nah, it's not like you can be poor and be a narcissist. Like you can have no money and still be an evil person with no empathy. Like it doesn't matter. Like, and they always want money. They always try to steal money. They always harvest people for energy and thus end up getting money through the energy they harvest from others. But it's not money is the only social hierarchy. Nah, it's nah. Nah, that's not it. That's not, because like this one, like you can, it's like narcissists, all they want is to control energy of people. They want to control people. They want to control the energy of people, and as a correlation to that, they want more money because it'll allow them to control more people. But I don't know. I can't say money is the only social hierarchy. It's not, because we can live in a world with no, because even before we have money, we have feudalism, right? Where the more land that you owned or controlled, the more power you had, the more social standing you had. It's not about the money. It's about controlling human lives. Like that is the only social hierarchy, is how many human lives can you control. And that can be through money. That can be through these cults. When you're the prophet at the top of a cult, it's not, yeah, they end up extracting money from all of their congregation, but it is more about like, how many people can I control? That is like that. You said I have corporate titles wrong. What about my corporate titles are wrong? Please, I am open to suggestions. The churches my fam took me to only portrayed light-skinned Jesus. Stained glass. Yeah. VP is not higher than MD and ED. A vice president is not higher than a managing director or an executive director. Are you yapping or fixing the mistake? Well, that's just rude. And I don't know what you're talking about, but I've never met I've been in corporate America for 10 years and never one time was an executive director or a managing director higher than a vice president. That's never happened. So I'm gonna say you're wrong. Is that racist or is, oh, okay. Women love to use the word narcissist, but have no clue what it means. All right. That's your opinion. I know what it means. And I do have my own. Well, I say I have my own definition. I don't have my own definition. My definition is very in line with the one that's in the what is it called? The BDS BDSM LSM DSM, the DSM Diagnosis Statistical Manual. But I like to emphasize certain parts of narcissism more, like the lack of empathy. That is my number one characteristic of a narcissist personally, is a person who will put others down or hurt others or harm others if it means they can get ahead. Like most people, if you say you can have $1 million, but you have to unalive a person, or you have to cause harm to another person, or you have to do something very terrible to another person, most people will say, I will not take that money. But a narcissist will say, how many people can I, if I kill 2 people, do I get more? That's what a narcissist will say. A narcissist will say, if I kill 2, do I get more? But everyone else will just be like, no, I'm not going to do that. No, that amount, like, human life is worth more than money to me. But for them, human life is like, it is a disposable, dispensable object that they can pick up and they can put down however they please. Like, people are objects to the narcissist, and they are the main character, and everyone else is just there to serve them. So it's just like, I don't know. You can say that. You can say it's overused. That's fine. But I know what I know. I know what I've seen. I know what I've experienced, and I know what is. And it's just like, and it seems like it's overused, but no, it's just because we live in a narcissistic world. Like, we live in a world where the masses work together and we serve a few, where it should be like the opposite, which is like a regular, like, it's not even a hierarchy, because it's like, it should be the masses work together to suppress the awful, evil people in the world. Like, it should, like, the world right now is a triangle, a hierarchy, and it should be an upside down triangle. It should be everyone at the top, the masses at the top, work together to suppress the small amount of bad actors at the bottom. But right now we have this inverted world where everything is narcissistic, everything is all for one instead of one for all. Like, so anyways, you can say, I mean, hey, you don't gotta be here. If you feel like I use it too much, you feel like the world is using it too much, you're like, hey, bye. And that's that. What you're describing is a bit more like sociopaths or psychopaths, not narcissists. Okay, well, yeah, I agree that sociopaths and psychopaths are also a part of the dirty trifecta of Machiavellian personality disorders. But yeah. No. Yes. Yeah. Like, okay. If they were in a 3-part Venn diagram, there's overlap between a psychopath, a sociopath, and a narcissist. They have overlap. But the narcissist, like the psychopaths. Okay. So no. Okay. So like a psychopath. Because I'm like, there's a malignant narcissist who actually takes pleasure from hurting and harming people. And then, they all have slightly different variations, but they are all they all have similar. I know psychopaths are born, like sociopaths and narcissists are made, is what they say. And so there's that, but it's just like the characteristics are all the same enough where, yeah, I do slap them all under narcissists, but I'll take that one. I'll take that. Like, but I don't know how to explain that. They are not this. They're different, but they're the same enough where I'm going to just keep saying narcissists. All right, there you go. Because narcissists do have the capacity. Because, like, I don't know. I know sociopaths are like a little bit worse because they just like, those are their serial killers, and narcissists aren't necessarily serial. Okay, that's a different. Okay, that's a different. Narcissists, they care about, like, their whole thing is to rise to a place where they can control a lot of people and where everyone reveres them and sees them as this like wonderful, loving, amazing person. Whereas a sociopath, they don't care. They don't care. Like, sociopaths, they don't care. They don't care about how you feel about them. They don't necessarily want, like, they want power and control, but like, they don't want to be president of the United States. They don't want to, like, they want power and control in order to hurt people, but narcissists want power and control in order to control people. Like, it's just like, for narcissists, it's not necessarily like they will hurt you or unalive you if you hurt them, you've hurt their ego, or like you do something to slight them. They have that retaliatory factor. But like psychopaths, is like, it's not about being praised for them. It's about doing whatever they want to do. And these narcissists are like that too, but narcissists have that, I want to be praised, I want to be revered, I want to be at the top of a hierarchy. Sociopaths, they just want to do what they want to do, and with whatever that is, whatever that look like, can that be crazy? A lot of times can be, because they also do have that lack of empathy. But that's the difference. And the sociopaths, I don't know what a sociopath is. I'm sorry. Oil is the base of most hate. Okay. All right. Narcissists love other people worshiping them. Sociopaths, right? Okay, exactly. All right, you got it. Yeah. So that's what I was saying. I was just like, narcissists are, and that's why I use narcissists specifically, because in this world, like, while there are some sociopaths and some psychopaths, most people, they want that adoration, they want that attention, they want that external validation. Like, sociopaths do not give up about external validation. Like, you can like, they don't need it, they don't care, they don't have, like, and narcissists have a lot of feelings. Like, sociopaths, they don't have a lot of feelings, they don't have feelings. They can logically think through emotions. They're like, yeah, okay, yeah, I understand how someone being hurt will cause them pain, and that pain will make them sad, but like, they don't have the ability to step into someone else's shoes and be like, oh, this makes me sad because it's just different. It's different with narcissists. are emotional. They've got feelings. They got big feelings. They got big fragile feelings. And they have no self-esteem. They have no sense of self-esteem. Like, that's the real problem. Is they need external validation to feel alive, to feel worthy. They need other people to tell them. I was looking at the Epstein birthday book. And I was like, you can tell it's a birthday book of of a narcissist, because it was like, you can just tell, like, all of the, like, it's like I don't want to call it like a fairy tale, but it's just like, when you have that many people just praising you, and not like praising you from like a oh my God, you've been so great, but like, I don't know how to explain it, but like, when you have a group of people praising a certain person, but praising them in a way that's like, you're almost afraid to say something wrong. Like, when the praise is so big and high, you can tell that the person is narcissistic, because people are afraid to say anything negative. And not only afraid to say anything negative, but like, I don't know how to explain it, but like, it's like so unnaturally, when people are so unnaturally kind to someone, like ass kissing, like won't tell this person that they've ever done anything wrong, you know that person's a narcissist, because everyone's afraid to tell them the truth. When you have a person who people are afraid to tell the truth, like, nah, they're at least a little narcissistic, if not completely. Where can I find that diagram? I need that. You can find it, link in my bio. It's $10. I will say it's $10, but I tell everybody it's worth thousands. It's worth thousands, and it'll probably be in a textbook one day if I play my cards right. Because it is good stuff, and it is based on many, many decades of myself going through all of these, observing all these things. I have ADHD, so I have extreme pattern recognition. I'm a Black woman. I'm queer, even though I'm like traditional female presenting, but I am queer. I'm very familiar with all the things that happen in the queer community. I've been in corporate America for 10 years, so I've been not only in corporate America, but I've been like a business analyst in corporate America for 10 years. And so I know how capitalism works in a very intimate and detailed way, to the point where I don't I gotta say I wish I didn't, because I use my knowledge for good. But as someone who worked in the healthcare industry, in the healthcare industry of a capitalist country, and in the C-suite too. I worked as an advisor for chief strategy officers, chief CEOs, mostly chief strategy officers, chief operating officers, some CHROs, chief human resource officers. But yeah, I worked to help to make hospitals more money, and health plans. Hospitals and health plans were my specialty. I worked to make the money for the last 10 years, before I was like, I actually don't want to do this anymore, because I am telling health systems, oh, if this primary care office was gone, we estimate that you would have a rise of 40% in your surgeries, because there will be no one to do preventative care in the area. And so, the hospital would purchase the primary care hospital, and then dissolve it, so that their their surgeries will go up. Isn't that nasty that I helped healthcare systems destroy preventative care so they can have more money? But that was my job. And so I know all about and then I was raised in the Bible Belt in the South. So I know all about Christianity and religions. I'm a Black person, obviously, and then I am neurodivergent. And so I also know what it's like to not think the same way that everyone else thinks, and then be treated like I was a person with 6 heads because of it. So anyways, I personally don't think there's anyone else in the world who could have, well, I mean, maybe someone else in the world could have made it, but it doesn't exist anywhere else in the world. And I do think my experiences, my unique. Oh, and then also, of course, like I said, my son's father, I was with him for 10 years, and he was a narcissist. So it's just like, I don't know. I don't know if anyone else in the world could have made this. I don't know. I don't think so. I think someone, of course, could have made it, but like, not like this. This is very, so I'm like, $10 is a steal. That is all I'm saying. $10 is a steal. It's a steal. You are getting good stuff for $10. Epstein was also obsessed with eugenics. Of course they are. They always are. Cause like, what? I was like, the one thing about Narcissus, the story about Narcissus, which was like, like the Greek fable of the man who was so beautiful that he died looking at himself. And that was like a part of the reason why narcissism is called narcissism to this day. Um, yeah, they love looking at themselves. They love the idea of themselves being the only and the best, like, person in the world. And so that's why they make white Jesus. That's why they're trying to delete the history of the Moors who conquered Europe and taught Europe civilization and brought, like, literature and reading to Europe. That's why because, like, they can't stand the idea of anyone doing anything that is great outside of themselves, because they are obsessed with themselves. They are obsessed with themselves. And it's just so, it's like, it's such a weird thing. It's such a weird thing, because I'm just like, diversity is diversity is wonderful. Like, I have this perspective, but other people have different perspectives that I could literally never have because I didn't live their life. I wasn't in the place that they were in. And so I value so heavily whenever I meet someone with a radically different perspective than me, because it's like, wow, I never would have thought of that. And I'm just like, that is something to be appreciated, not something to be feared or something to be, like, cast away. Like, people are just like, I was listening to this this podcast with this white atheist man, and he was just like, yeah, people are always gonna when they see other people living a life that is wildly different from theirs, they're always going to like, want to destroy it because it challenges their worldview. And I was like, I don't think that way. That's a uniquely European way of thinking. Like, Europeans see a different culture of people living a different way, and they say, oh my God, they're savages. Oh my God, they're not civilized. Oh my God, we have to save them from themselves. Like, it's just like, what are y'all talking about? It's just like, you can live the way you want to live. I'll live the way I want to live, and we'll be happy for each other. Like, why is that not the way that European descended people think? Why is it, oh, if I see someone living differently than me, then it's a threat to my existence? Why is that? Why is that how they think? And, and it's because I think it's because it's a narcissistic point of view. And I do think white people have collective narcissism, if you've seen my recent videos. And that is because they have been put on they put themselves on the top of this hierarchy, lacking accountability. And so they understand that because these systems are, one, narcissistic, but two, artificial, there's always going to be this deep-seated insecurity that if someone else is in charge, I will be hurt and harmed, because that is the way they think, and they project that mentality on other people. When you deal with narcissists, every accusation is an admission. Remember that. And so, yeah, they don't want other people to be in charge, because their false systems will be dismantled and they won't be able to be on top anymore in perpetuity, because they are, because this system is fake, it's wrong, it's rigged. I can't wait till it's over. I can't wait till it's done. I just cannot wait, because it's like, the jig is up. The jig is up. The jig is up. This is stupid. Okay. What else do we say? He was the Genghis Khan spreading his DNA everywhere. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. Oh, I was listening to Virginia, like the woman who, like, really, like, helped started bringing him down. And she was saying the only reason why she left is because they asked her to have a baby. And I was just like, she was, when you're a victim of a narcissist, you always think they're going to change. You always think they're going to be better. You always think, maybe if I do this, maybe if I do that, you always blame it on yourself. And, I feel like victim of a narc has, like, that, not every, but, like, if you're lucky, you'll have this moment of awakening and realization, like, that this person or these people are crazy as hell and they're never going to change. And it was her saying, them coming to her, Ghislaine and Epstein, saying, like, oh, would you mind having a baby for us? And she was like, oh, I gotta get the hell out of here, because they would they would, like, he always said the younger the better. He always said the younger the better. Like, he ended up with, like, 14-year-olds because that's what he had access to. But if he had, oh, what is this? Okay. But if he had access to younger women, he would. And I was just like, wow, I'm glad she left, because if she had a baby for those people, they would have started doing awful things to that baby from day one, which is disgusting. So, am I Caribbean? No, I am not Caribbean, but I do love Jamaica. I do love Jamaica. My husband's from the Dominican Republic, but I am not Caribbean. I am Black American. I've been here since the transatlantic slave trade. And I do hope to go back to my homeland eventually. So that's that. Talking about uncivilized and then goes to eat beans on toast. Yeah, their diet is their culinary, preferred culinary cuisine is, is questionable indeed. Questionable indeed. Yeah, and that reminds me of when they first came here, how they were they were passing away because they didn't have enough food. And the Native Americans, helped them out for a little bit until they kept like trying to steal from the Native Americans. And Native Americans were like, actually, we're not going to help you anymore because you guys suck. You're awful. They didn't say this, but you're narcissistic. um, and so they stopped feeding them, and then they were almost about to starve out again. But a boat came and brought with them black people from Africa, and then African people were like, "Oh, you guys don't know how to farm? Oh, sweetie." And then, of course, so that we also didn't die ourselves, we started farming. And we had to farm for them because we were enslaved. And so black people saved white people from starving in the first settlements here in what is now America. And I'm just like, wow, white people. And that's the thing about narcissistic people. Like, they always claim that they have these talents and these skills and that they could do all this stuff. But what they actually do is just just harvest the energy, the skills, and the talents of others. It's actually ridiculous. It's actually ridiculous. You have the best laugh. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'll be laughing. I'll be laughing. Life is a joke. That's why I laugh, because life is a fucking joke. Sometimes it's a good joke, and sometimes it's a really bad joke. It's a really bad joke. But yeah, that is all. Whoo, child. What was the name of this? Oh, Everyone's a Narcissist. Yeah. And so I'm just like, I was just like, I just wish everyone could see what I see. Because narcissists, they're all the same. They never pay you. They always lie. I'm so saying, the guy from the Danish Deception always said I'm gonna borrow this money and I'm gonna pay you back. Epstein, I'm gonna do this for you and I'm gonna pay you back. Trump, oh yeah, build this for me and I'm gonna pay you back. Who else? Friggin' Musk. Musk, he didn't pay people. Oh, and then Bezos, another one who, you see how the Amazon workers have to go on strike every 3.5 days so that they can get a paycheck. The freaking, what's it called? The Walmart family, the Walton family, they also don't pay their employees money. It's just like, y'all got billions of dollars. Like, I don't understand how people continue to champion and defend billionaires, while villainizing poor people, although billionaires have the ability to pay the poor people so that the poor people won't be poor. But instead of like paying the poor people who are working 40 hours a week, mind you, they instead say, no, let's villainize the poor people and praise the billionaires for being billionaires. I'm just like, why is that? And I was just watching I was reading an article that was talking about how the poverty line right now is is marked at like $30,000 if you're in poverty. But the article was talking about how that the formula that they're using is the same formula they've been using, I want to say, since like the 1930s or something, or maybe the 40s or something. That mark like what the line of poverty is. And at that time, the formula was only taking into account food. It was only taking into account how much food the household is spending, because food used to be 1/3 of the expenses. Used to be 1/3 of your income went to food. Like, food was the biggest expense back in the 1930s, but obviously now our biggest expense is housing, but they don't take that into account in the poverty limit. And so the long story short is, these people, super smart math people, did all the calculations, readjusted the formula, and did the formula to match like current day situations. And guess what the amount of money is that would match that would be under the federal poverty line for a 4-person household today. Like, that is like, if the formula was correct right now, they have it set at $30,000 is the federal poverty limit. Any guesses before I'm gonna say it? But for a 4-person household, what would be the federal poverty limit today if the formula was correct? $60K. All right, good guess. The answer is no. They pay them $16 an hour and won't always give them time requested. Sure. All right. We only got one guess. $138,000 for about 140K is like what a family of four needs in order to live comfortably, and that included how much we're paying for rent, how much we're paying for food. That was like they accounted for childcare because it used to be back in the day that they didn't have to pay for childcare because only one parent needed to work. And so now they put childcare in there. They put transportation costs in there. They put insurance in there because insurance is something we are required to pay for now. It used to be that you weren't required to pay for child insurance. So when they put everything in there that was like the minimum that you need in order to live, it was 140K. If you're making 140K or less, imagine this is for a family of four. I think for a family of one, like just for one person, it was maybe it was like 70. I think it was 70 something. It was like 70 something to like be able to live comfortably on your own. But right now, they have it at 30K, y'all. They have it at 30K. 30K is what they're selling us. We need, we need, and if you make more than 30K, then you're not in poverty. You're good to go. It's not funny, but it's funny. Yeah, it's not like life is a joke. Life is a joke. Life is a joke. But we're broke, right, because of our avocado toast and coffee. Yeah, because we didn't start investing 20 years ago when we were born. What were we doing? Drinking milk? Yeah. And they try to say it's our fault. The average the average age of the first time home buyer, it was like not even like 20 years ago was like early 20s, like 25. The average age of a home buyer today. Any guesses? Average age of a home buyer today. I'll give it a couple seconds. I'll let you think about it. Average age of a home buyer in 2025. Boomers were set up for success and they took that and ran it to the ground for greed. For sure. Over 40, 60, close, 30, close. Oh, no, 30, you're way off. It's like mid-50s. It's like 55. The average age of a homeowner today is like 55. 50s. 50s. Or was it early 40s? I mean, late 40s. It was like 49. It was like, I feel like I remember, y'all, I'm sorry. I gotta go look this up again. But it was old. It was old. The average age of a home buyer today is, I want to say it's 50s. It was in their 50s, like 49, 50 years old. Right. Exactly. Like that. Cause young people can't afford houses. We can't afford properties. Like I was just looking up, good investments for 2026. Y'all want to know what they said? They said a traditional real estate is out. Trailer homes are in. It's not funny, but it's just like they said, like more and more people are looking at mobile homes. Like retired people can't afford regular homes, young people can't afford homes, and apartments, are going up and up and up. So it was just like the rising market is mobile homes. And I was just looking up renovated mobile homes. I was just looking up. There's this couple that lives in New York and they live in a school bus, a renovated school bus. Like the inside looks like a trailer home, but they can drive it around. They can park it in different places in New York, so they don't have to pay rent. And I'm just like, that is what people are doing. People are choosing mobile homes now because regular homes are so expensive. My sister's 29 and she bought a home a few years ago. They tricked her into an adjustable mortgage. Ooh, an adjustable rate mortgage, right? That's when like the interest rate, when you buy it, it might be like, 5%, but then but then it can't adjust. So who adjusts the adjust? Is it like you go and you ask for it to be adjusted, or do they adjust it on their own? That's my question. I work at a nursing home part-time, and so many people have been moving because they can't afford it. Nope. People can't afford nursing homes. Nope. But no, they should have they should have picked a cheaper nursing home. Sorry. And then that's why we talk about private equity and their part in all this. Private equity are buying things like the nursing home and making their nursing home like tuition, like the cost to stay there go up while firing the people who work there. So there's less staff in there, which means more mistakes, more burnt out staff, and then less resources within the nursing home. So older people are going to start passing away sooner in nursing homes. I'm drowning over here. I hope not, get a life jacket. They raised it over the last couple of years. I'm trying to get my kids to put on our property instead of renting. Yep. Trying to get my kids to put one on our property instead of renting. Put what on their property? What's the full title of the graph? I only see the word social. Narcissistic social hierarchies of control. If you want a copy of your own copy, link is in my bio. It's only $10, but it's worth thousands, if not millions. But anywho's, reverse boomer logic on them. Yeah. Oh, and the narcissistic social hierarchies of control. Let me know if you haven't been around, and I can explain that a little bit more. Link in my bio. Link in my bio for if you want a copy of this image. It is $10. Yeah, no. The boomers suck. The boomers suck. Especially and it's like boomers are old white people. And old white people are and white people in general, sorry if you're a white person on this line, white people in general are more narcissistic than everyone else because they haven't had to deal with having an ego death or the world not revolving around them. Whenever you have to realize the world doesn't revolve around you, you tend to have more empathy. You tend to be less narcissistic because the world doesn't revolve around you. So you have to, women have to do this from birth. We have to learn how to take care of other people, care about other people. We have to learn that the world don't revolve around us. But white people and men, they typically don't have to do that. And so they tend to be less empathetic and more narcissistic. And boomers, white people who were raised in pre-civil rights era, so they have this ingrained hatred of black people and hatred of people of color anyways. Yeah, and they're going to be more narcissistic, and that means they have no empathy, which means they're willing to hurt and harm other people if that means that it will help them get ahead. And so boomers are going to be of course they got the biggest net worth. As long story short is of course they do. Of course they do. Everything seems like a ploy to get people working more hours. It is. It 100% is, because if they can get people working, people can't read, people can't go to school, people can't think deeply, because again, if we want to take a step back into the spiritual realm of it, if you've been here for a little while, and the way to tap into your one consciousness, to talk to God, to have a spiritual awakening that people always talk about, is through digging into your mind, digging into your subconscious, digging into it's like the best example I have is whenever you take psychedelics. They put people through a brain scan, an MRI machine, and they saw that the cadelics, they turn people's brains off. The brains, they didn't light up at all. Not that at all, but there was less brain activity. And that is how when people have those awakenings, they have those moments, they have these transformations, it is because their brain is turned off. It is turned off, but they keep putting phones in our faces, internet in our faces, content in our faces, junk in our faces. They put everything in front of us so that we cannot dig deep into ourselves, because once you dig deep into yourselves, you will wake up and you'll be like, this is stupid. You will wake up and be like, this is crazy. You will wake up and be like, this is wrong. This is not right. This don't make no sense. This is illogical. You will wake up whenever you unplug from everything. But they're giving us AI. They're trying to put chips in our brain. They give you your watch. They want you to stay connected to this world, this dimension, if you will, so that you cannot tap into one consciousness, because the one consciousness is going to tell you what's up. And they're going to tell you this is stupid. If you're a white person, they're going to be like, racism is dumb. If you're a man, they're gonna be like, patriarchy is stupid. Women are just as equal, if not more, because of our spiritual our spiritual our wombs, you are a soul, and then your soul is put into a body, and that transition happens inside the womb from soul to human form, and that is something uniquely special to the female body, and then the female body is typically correlated with female energy. But anyways, this is not that TikTok, but yeah, once you tap into subconscious, once you really when you turn your brain off, they've been calling it scientists have been calling it your default mode network. I was listening to some psychological research the other day, and I was like, that's what we're calling our subconscious now, our default mode network. So if you want to Google it, you can Google, how to activate your default mode network. But that is default mode. It's just it is who you are when there's no other external information coming into you. And if you are able to do that, which is essentially meditation, but I don't like to use the word meditation, because I feel like you hear the word meditation, people get scared. They're like, oh my God, meditation is so hard, it's so scary. It is hard, but it's once you it's only hard to start. Like, it's like anything. It's like working out. Like, when you first start working out, it is so hard. It is so terrible. It is like, oh my God, I'm so tired. And it never truly gets 100% easy, but it definitely gets easier. Like, it definitely gets easier. And I just said, yeah, I just want more people to do that, because like once you like are no longer afraid to sit with yourself and actually allow messages to come from your subconscious up to the forefront of your brain, you're going to find out who you are. And you know, you should like it, because who you are is who you are, and it's who you're meant to be all this time. But you know, people are afraid of that because you will have to deal with trauma that comes up. Like, if you've been suppressing a really bad experience your whole life, and so every time you're like by yourself, you turn to your phone because you don't want to think about that bad experience, you're going to have to deal with the bad experience. But it'll help you figure out why you've been suppressing it, what happened. Like, you'll dig through it, you'll decipher it, you'll integrate your shadow self into your whole self, you'll dismantle it, like you'll figure it out. Whatever it is that you've been avoiding, if you sit with yourself, you'll figure it out, and then you keep sitting with yourself, and you'll figure out more stuff, and then you figure out more stuff, and then boom, next thing you know, you're mentally transporting yourself to like India or something. Like, that's you start like you start doing the magic shit that they show you, like you use your mind to like bend a spoon or some shit like that. Like, it all comes from unplugging and digging deeper into yourself and strengthening your brain. Like, but they don't want you to do that, because then they lose control. They lose control once you gain control of your mind, they lose control of your mind, and they don't want that. So, you know, stay on your phone. That's why we're all depressed. They shove everything that causes constant dopamine in it's draining. 100%. Like, yeah, I'm just like that's the whole thing. That is the whole thing. I'm just like, when I think about psychology and depression and anxiety and like all these mental health problems that we have, it is all because we are not present. It's because it's literally like depression comes from like you're sad that something happened in the past, or anxiety comes from fear of the future. Like, all of these mental issues are because we are not present. And you're not present because you're always on your phone. People are literally always trying to escape the present, and then they wonder why they got mental health issues. I'm just like, and then me sitting here, I'm just like, do y'all not see this? Are y'all not seeing this? Am I the only one who sees this? Okay. What are simple ways to escape 3D reality? Sit with yourself. Sit with self. It starts off really boring. I'm telling you, it starts off super boring. You're just like, your mind is going everywhere, and it's just like, what in the world? But it's just like, once you get a few sessions in, you're like, oh, so that's what happened to me as a child? That's why I hate this? That's why I hate that? Oh, I don't even remember having this terrible, awful experience with cucumbers. So that's why I hate cucumbers. Like, you just start remembering shit, and the more you remember, the more you remember. Like, you cannot remember if you don't allow yourself to think about it. But you cannot allow yourself to think about it if you're always on your phone, always watching TV, always talking to somebody, always taking in external information. Like, your brain can only do one thing at a time. People think you can multitask. No, you can't multitask. You can switch between tasks very quickly. Like, that is what you're doing. Women, typically a little bit better at it, of like going from one thing to other thing, and like you're doing two things at once, but you're never really doing two things at once. You're really doing one thing and then another thing, and you're switching back and forth really fast. And that's the same thing when it comes to like deep thinking and subconscious exploration. Like, you cannot explore your subconscious at the same time as you scroll TikTok. You literally cannot. Your brain cannot do it. And so you have to unplug from everything and sit with self. And once you do that, you will, like, that is how you escape 3D reality. Like, you start you realize all this shit doesn't matter. Like, I was making almost $150,000 a year at my old job. I walked away from it all because I hated everything. Now I'm unemployed, making the least amount of money I've ever made in my entire life, and I am happier than I have ever been. I promise you, because I learned how to sit with myself. I learned how to sit with myself. And you realize I don't give a fuck if people think that I'm a beautiful feminine woman. I don't give a fuck if I am a millionaire or a billionaire. I don't give a fuck if I am if I'm a director or an executive director or a VP of a company. I don't give a fuck if I am adjacent to whiteness or not. I don't give a fuck if people don't think, oh my God, she's not Christian, she's a demon. And I don't give a fuck if people say, oh my God, she doesn't think like me, so I don't know, I don't want to be around her. Like, once you realize who you are, you cannot have that taken from you. You can't, like, and that is, and that's what they don't want you to realize. Like, once you become so comfortable with self, you white people, they ask all the time, like, how are Black people so full of joy? How do Black people still smile? Like, when your sense of internal validation comes from an internal source, comes from source, no one can take that from you. They can't. But if you live in this matrix, anyone can take your sense of validation in a moment. As soon as your stocks go down, gone. If you believe in the patriarchy, if you believe in the men are dominant over women, then you have to be this big, beefy, like, man. As soon as your muscles go away, or as soon as you don't have a wife or a girlfriend or a kid, or as soon as you're not dominating over something, then you're worthless. You're worthless. But if you know your worth comes from within and no one can tell you what your worth is, they can't take that from you. If your worth comes from how much you have in your bank account and how much your stock ticker, how high your company's stocks are, like, your stocks can drain like in a second. But if your worth comes from within, I can have $0 in my bank account and I still know that I am worth millions of these metaphorical dollars, billions of these metaphorical dollars. Don't believe in billionaires, but we are all worth billions of dollars. Like, your collective experiences that you've had in your life, no one else was born in the state that you were born in the city, in the hospital, to your parents at the time that you were born, and lived the life that you lived, went to your middle school, your elementary school, your high school, went on to do your job, met the people that you met, talked to the people that you talked to, had the conversations that you had, read the books that you read, saw the movies that you saw. Like, no one else on this planet Earth has that combination of experiences that you have had. No one has it. I promise you. I swear to God, I can say that with a straight face. No one has had every single one of the exact same experiences that you have had. That makes you incredibly unique, incredibly special, incredibly valuable. But instead of people seeing that, of like, I went through this life and I've done all these things, like I said, I created this based on the fact that I had this narcissistic, terrible, awful baby father, along with his mom, that I lived with. I'm a queer woman. I'm a Black woman. I've been lower class. I lived in poverty. I've been as high as an executive director before. I've had a 6-figure salary. I've worked in corporate America. I've worked in capitalism. I lived in a Bible Belt. Like, I've had all these experiences that helped me put this together and be able to tell the things that I'm telling you right now. I've done the things, but no one else could do this because no one else has had my experiences. See what I'm saying? So, like, if you take your experiences and you put them into something, you create something from them, like, that is a manifestation of you, and that is valuable. That is valuable, and no one can take that from you. But people will rather live in the patriarchy. It's fine. It's scary because you really have to sit and reflect with yourself. It is scary, and you're gonna find out some of your insecurities. You're gonna find out what you're afraid of. You're like, shit is going to come up. Like, shit is going to come up, but you have to, like, instead of like feeling that feeling come up, or feeling that memory come up, or feeling that experience come up that's negative, and like pivoting and running as soon as you can, you have to sit with it and be like, okay, I hurt this person in my life. Here's why. I was jealous of this person, and here's why. I wanted to do this thing, but I didn't do it, and here's why. I was afraid of this thing, and I didn't do it, and here's why. Like this terrible, awful thing happened to me, and I don't never wanted to think about it in my whole life ever again, and here's why. Like, you have to someone described it to me, and I loved it. This was my favorite description. Is like, when you are observing things in the outward world, you get tools like a telescope, and you can see further than you've ever seen. He said, take that telescope, and instead of looking at the stars, invert it and look into your soul. Like, that is what it is. You need to take your telescope, your glasses, your hearing phones, all those things that amplify your external senses, and turn them inward and dig deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And like what you'll find at the end of it all is Christ consciousness. Is one consciousness, is like this beautiful awakeness of awareness of like, wow, like we, like, the end of the journey is we are all one. We are like from us as humans to us, to the trees, to the ants, to the flowers. Like, all life is connected, and it is beautiful, and it is like, and it's shared, and it's like, it's this wonderful, good experience. But you have to go through your own journey to get there. Like, that's the thing. Like, yeah, the goal is there, but like, you can't get there without going through the journey. I could tell you all day what it feels like. But until you experience it yourself, you'll never get it. You'll never get it. You'll never get it. And you have to do it yourself. That's the whole point of life, is to have your unique, specific collection of experiences. That is what life is. You have to walk the journey yourself and enjoy it. But hey, but these matrices are literally meant to make sure that we never walk the journey, that we never get there, that we never find the destination and enjoy life for what it is. Yep, the trad wife trend is on the rise. Yeah, it is. It's disgusting because they want women to be subjugated to men. And they, especially women, because women, man, we are so cool and so great and so wonderful and so awesome. And yeah, once we realize that, then again, once you realize all these things are fake, you are easier to control. And that is all they want. They want to control you. They want to control you. They want to control you. Narcissistic social hierarchies of control. A small bit of people at the top want to control everybody else across the bottom. Even if you're in the red, even if you're high up in the hierarchy, you are still under the control of the people at the top. And the people at the top, it's like 100 of them, maybe 1,000. I think it's like 3,000 billionaires in the United States. And so maybe like 5,000 in the world. And there are like 8 billion people across the planet. Y'all, I'm just like, y'all, we are really letting like a few thousand people control all 8 billion of us. Like, I'm just like, like, what's happening? What is happening? Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome, friend. You're welcome. In my opinion, we would thrive without men. We would. we would. I heard this recent theory that that men were created from women so that women could like experience ourselves in the masculine, or like it was something that women did like while we decided to make men. And I don't know. I'm gonna say I feel like that's backfired on us at this point. I feel like we need to reevaluate that decision. Because I'm sick of them. I'm sick of them, if I'm being honest. I'm sick of them. Even my husband. I love him too, but he also a man, and I'm sick of him sometimes. Cause like they don't they don't think the same. They don't think the same. They think, I don't know. They just think, I don't know. They think weird. They think weird. They don't think enough. The things they do think about are stupid or irrelevant or like not really helpful to the greater good. They think a little bit narcissistically, if you will. They think narcissistically. Are you familiar with Narcissism? Yes, but not that much. But I know about it because it's very in line with like my beliefs, essentially. Like I don't want to call my beliefs with my knowings. It's with my knowings. Like it's just like we all know. Not to say we all should know. We all would know if we all had the opportunity to know. But we all did know until these things came and started controlling our spirituality and our minds and our thoughts and our feelings. Like, it's so stupid. So I'm just like, I want to say it's like, my belief system. I'm just like, it's not a belief system. It is what it is. It is what it is. And it's been known across the globe throughout history. This is what we knew. But they came and took it all away. Me too, that the world was a matriarchy before men turned into a patriarchy. For sure. Like, that's why I'm just like, I think men are like, they are, I don't know. I just feel like men are like the dark side of the feminine. They are like, I don't know, like the dark side of the feminine. Like if women were the most evil parts, because like women have all the parts, right? We have the X and the X chromosome, while the X is like the Y is like an unfinished X, and they're like kind of like missing a piece of DNA. I feel like if women had since women have everything, it's just, I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna stop because I don't know I know what I'm saying, but I can't explain it, and that means I don't know what I'm saying. Because I just think men are they're a manifestation of dark feminine energy, and not in a good way. But that is all. All right, I'm done. Ooh, this is me and my lighting. I'm recording a podcast soon, so Ooh, this looks so good. So yeah, so I'm about to search right as I'm about to go. Are you from? Oh yeah, okay, yeah. So thank you guys for listening to my very long rant while I did my makeup. Thanks for doing my makeup with me. I hope you have enjoyed. If you have any other questions before I go, about the narcissistic social hierarchies of control, what they mean, how they arise. Well, I can't get into how they arise, but it starts with the patriarchy. Just know that it starts with the patriarchy. Men created all of these systems, even though women created men. But men created all these systems, so that is that. But yeah, if you are interested in learning more, my first playlist on my page is called Narcissistic Hierarchies, and I talk through this in a few different things. And then I have a playlist for each of these. I have a Down with the Patriarchy playlist. I have a how capitalism really works playlist. I don't have a corporate America playlist, but I feel like these two they're brothers and sisters. I have an Understanding Racism playlist. That one's a good time. That one's fun. And then I have two playlists for spiritual. One is that it's like spirituality through science, like that kind of shows the connection between spirituality and science, and like how, like, if you have true spirits, like the way that Christianity and Islam and Judaism work, and you have all these questions of like, does that work? Does that make sense? Is that mythical? Is that real? But like true spirituality is very much aligned with science, is very much aligned with like nature, is very much aligned with real world, like all those questions of like, oh my God, it's just like. So anyways, and then I also have a playlist called Religion is a Scam. So if you want to know how these religions are narcissistic hierarchies and how they're scams, I got a playlist for that. And if you want to know more about spirituality, I have a playlist for that. And I don't have a playlist for ableism, but I do have ADHD. So I sprinkle a bunch of ADHD stuff like throughout my page. So that is that. My name is Bri Speaks. I am a self-declared intersectionality expert, and I have created the 6 narcissistic social hierarchies of control. So I hope you hang around, follow for more. If you want a copy of this, you can find it at the link in my bio labeled Narcissistic Hierarchies. Only $10, but worth millions. So have fun. All right. Until next time, friends, I'll see you then. Oh, and then if you want to hear my podcast, YouTube, Bri at Bri Speaks on YouTube. I have tons of good stuff on there, long form content if you want, you want to hear me chat more like this, but in a more structured and long form way. Topically, YouTube at Bri Speaks. All right. I will talk to you guys next time. Thanks for coming. Bye-bye.